Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's having a wonderful week and getting ready for the summer. As I feel like I mentioned in every video, I've been crazy busy with my regular daytime job doing sales, and just spend a lot of time on the road. But time, I'm finally home for a couple days, and I have a friend that needs some tractor work done, so I went out, give him a quote. He has probably about 16 stumps, some small, some are full size, freshly cut, some are rotted, but in total about 16 stumps that need to be done, as well as some brush picked up, some other few miscellaneous things that he wants me to do with the tractor. So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. I've got my tractor loaded up. We are heading out to my friend's John's house, and we're gonna get some tractor work done. I'll take you guys along, show you guys the tractor, show you how it's holding up after almost a year, and give you some footage. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to record this video is because I've gotten a few questions on my last video about my stump grinder, about what I got it, and I've been wanting to make a video about the stump grinder anyway, so I thought this would be a perfect project to kind of show off my stump grinder, talk to you guys about the process, and talk to you guys about my stump grinder. So let's just jump into it. First things first, I think the most important tool in any stump grinding job is actually going to be your chainsaw, not your stump grinder. As you can see, first thing I start with is I try to cut it, any stump I'm working on, as close to the ground level as possible, assuming the stump is 12 inches in diameter. That's pretty much my first step every single time. You'll actually see my chain smoking there a little bit. Doing this is very hard on your chainsaw. It's not good for it. I usually get about 10 cuts, 10 stumps that I can cut before I need to sharpen my chain, and then after that I can get another 10 stumps, at which point the chain is just too stretched out that even sharpening it won't do nothing, because the chain is just too loose and too dangerous to work with. So it's definitely not good for your chain, but that chain is 20, 25, 30 bucks, and it's a small price to pay for how much easier it makes. Now, as you see that my chain, I put a new chain on, it's cutting really good, and just speeds up the process drastically. The cuts I make are plunge cuts. They're usually about 10 to 15 inches in length, and as you'll see up here, they're angled. Once I'll hammer this out, yep. Over there you can see that all the cuts I made were angled, so that on the edges of the stump are at the ground level, but the inside is hollowed out because the cuts were angled. And so it's actually the center of the stump is well below the ground level. So what this does is it speeds up the entire process. You have that much less of a stump to tackle. Plus it reduces wear and tear on your stump grinder. The stump grinders are not cheap. This particular stump grinder I bought it used. It was less than a year old for $2,500 right now. At the time they were selling for over $4,000. Everybody had crazy markups on it. Now it seems like the prices have settled down, but to maybe like just under $4,000. But these stump grinders are not cheap. The teeth on the stump grinder are not cheap. The teeth are usually will run you a set of teeth with the locking nuts for the rear of the tooth will run you about $450, $500 for a set of 34. They're tungsten carbide tipped. If you get specialty teeth, you might have to pay more. But this is it's quite expensive. It's not cheap. The the stumps, the chain for My chainsaw cost about $25 to $30, and I know I can get 20 stumps out of it, so I just prorate it, and I charge that to my customer, add it to the quote. This way, you know, the customer is paying for it, and I'm prolonging the life of my, you know, the expensive components on my stump grinding equipment. So I definitely would highly recommend. You'll see that it speeds up the entire process because there's that much less of a stump to grind. Another way it speeds things up is actually, you'll see the wood chips. It limits the amount of wood chips that you create. Wood chips are a nightmare when stump grinding. You know, if I would have left the stump at its full height, I would have had to stop, clear out the chips, because they would be up. They get fluffy, they fluff up, and they block the view of the stump. So you know, with this, I didn't have to stop at all. I was able to just keep going. I got the stump well below the ground level without ever having to clear out any of the chips. So if there's one thing you take away from this video, if you want to get into stump grinding, put in a little sweat equity, cut it down with your chainsaw, and it will save you time, money, everything in the long term. Okay, what you see me doing here in this video is basically making a series of vertical punch cuts, which is another technique I use to help the stump grinder to rip out chunks of stump to speed up the process. It is a lot less safe because it's going to throw out a chunk of wood eventually and send it flying. So you want to make sure that you do it in a safe space where it's not going to hit anything or anybody. But it's a kind of a shortcut, quicker way to speed up the process when you're stump grinding. So anyway, I got a whole bunch of more stumps that I have videos of how I grind them down, but the process basically stays the same. Cut it as close to ground level as I can. Remove the top portion, and then stump grind it until, you know, as low as I can get it. Another thing I'll tell you before I let you guys watch the video and enjoy the videos, try to set the expectations with the customers about each stump, and, you know, figure out what they need done. You know, for this customer, he's converting this into a platform for his camper, so he really didn't need them grinded down terribly low below the ground level. So figure out what exactly your customer needs you to do. That way you're not doing more work for no reason. And then whatever they ask you to do, whether it's just get it down with ground level or get it, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches below the ground level, whatever they tell you, do a little bit more. The last thing you want is end up, you know, with an upset customer because they start working on the project that they've intended to work on, and realize that there's a portion of the stump that's sticking out above the ground level. Then you have to go back and fix it. I guess you don't have to go back and fix it. That's the right thing to do. That's what you should do. So always just kind of make sure you have a clear expectation with the customer of what you can do and you understand what they want you to do, and then do just a little bit more. Give them just a little bit more. Give yourself a little bit of a safety buffer, and do a little bit more than what they ask you to do, because that's ultimately going to create a happier customer and going to lead to more business in the long term. So anyway, I'm going to stop yapping and let you guys watch the video, and hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm probably going to jump in the end and do a little more commentary, but you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. Okay guys, so this is basically just the final stages of the project. I'm just picking up some of the loose logs and trees that my friend John has and making him a little burn pile, but this is basically it. Over 20 stumps done. Fun project, learned a lot. If you guys learned something too, please hit like and subscribe so I can still keep making these videos. And if you guys have any suggestions or tips on how I can improve or any mistakes that you've seen that I made, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know how I can improve. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.